Hello world. Hello world. How y'all doing, man? I hope y'all doing great. I appreciate y'all as always for being here. Absolutely appreciate y'all. Got a good one today. A good one today. Something I've been wanting to kind of dig and dive deep into for a while, man. For a while. Usually I get on here and I just kind of recap a game or I rarely talk about specific things. But this is something I really want to get into because it's it's a huge topic among Browns fans. This Flacco and Watson comparison, the dynamic between them, and why does Flacco look so much better in our offense? Why did Deshaun Watson struggle so much? Why is this guy that we saw be great in Houston, carry a team in Houston, dominate in Houston, be a top quarterback in Houston? Why do we get him and we're getting this guy that looks hesitant and he's rusty and he just doesn't look right? But then we get a guy like Flacco who's supposed to be washed up, who's supposed to be his arm is supposed to be gone. No one's supposed to want him. The Jets got rid of him because he just doesn't have it anymore. But he comes in and he looks great. Why? What is it? What is it? And a lot of people are saying, man, Flacco is the quarterback. Why in the world would we not go forward with Flacco? And even before we have Flacco, a lot of these same people were the same ones that were just anti-Watson. And I get it. I get it, man. I get it. I get it from an aspect of on the football field. All the allegations and stuff, man, we gonna leave that alone for the most part. I'm not about to dive into all that because either you think he did do it or you think he didn't. You have your opinion, and it doesn't really matter at this point, man. We gonna talk about football and the reality of the situation. This is a dude that a lot of people had good reason to not like because he has looked rusty. Majority of the games we've seen him play have not looked like Deshaun Watson. If you ripped all the names off the back of jerseys, all the numbers off, and you just had a bunch of blank faces and like he does not look like that guy from Houston. You would never say that's the guy from Houston, Deshaun Watson. You wouldn't. You could pick a play here and there, but a lot of quarterbacks got that, right? Even a lot Kenny Pickett, that bum. I could pull out a lot of highlights where if I just get the highlights, man, he'll look great. But as a whole, Watson has not looked good with us. Why? We gonna go to the beginning, y'all, because it's deeper than it's deeper than just X's and O's. Even it's not even about the X's and O's. It's not really about that. It's all about comfort, belief, confidence, compromise, fit. That's what all of this is about. The first year, right? Watson sweepstakes. We get Deshaun Watson. After he eliminated us, we had no chance. Everybody wanted him. People forget. People forget that time frame. People act like the Browns were the only team that wanted him. Everybody who were able to get him, who had the cap space and were willing to bring him in, needed a quarterback. Everybody wanted him. The Falcons, the Saints, man, it was a ton of teams. Nobody was talking about the stuff going on with him off the field then. Everybody wanted him. And for good reason. Brown signed him. It was an outrage. Apparently, we're the only team that was going to even get this guy a chance. All that stuff. People hate the Browns, man. They going to make any excuse to dislike the Browns. And that was we gave them a golden ticket to talk about us in a bad way. So a lot of people felt some way about this stuff, and I get that. Bring him in, deal with a whole off season and all that talk about stuff that ain't even football. We can't even enjoy the positives he's bringing. We talking about all this. I'm saying all this to let y'all know he's also going through this, y'all. And in this situation, let's assume what he's saying is true. He believes he's innocent. So if he's innocent going through all this from what he believes, what he's saying, we just gonna go. I'm gonna just go with what he's saying. That's a lot to weigh on you. It's a lot weighing on you. When he leaving the practice field, he got to deal with all of that. He's seeing all of that. This is reality we talking about. That's a human being. He's dealing with all of that. The team's dealing with all that. Players got to answer questions. He's rusty. Couldn't even have a full training camp. Suspended the first 11 games. Jacoby Brissett is our backup quarterback. And Jacoby Brissett looks good in our offense. Jacoby Brissett and Stefanski, man, we got a top offense when everybody was saying, oh, Browns eliminated from playoff contention because Watson in that suspension limit is too many games. They're not going to be able to recover from that. But Jacoby Brissett coming in, and he looking great. Our offense is actually top in the league. Tops in the league, not top in number one, but we were like I believe 12, 10, and for what we were expecting, that's tops. Nobody was sitting there saying, man, we gonna be a top 10 offense with Jacoby Brissett. He was not the reason we losing games. It was the defense and that passive Joe Wood scheme, but we're not gonna talk about that. So we were not losing games because of the quarterback play. Kevin Stefanski was overachieving in most people's eyes, getting more out of the position in the offense than what we expected, right? Jacoby Brissett is what kind of guy? He's just a put me in a scheme. I know my limitations. I know I'm not the fastest. I don't have the biggest arm. Nobody's begging for me to be their franchise quarterback and begging y'all, calling y'all, trying to trade for me. I know my role. I'm just going to come in, do what you're asking me to do, Stefanski. You going to put me in a situation to succeed. I'm just going to run the plays. Very similar to what Flacco's doing. Very similar. Both of them succeeded in the offense. There's a reason for that, man. Jacoby Brissett, Flacco. Not trying to do anything outrageous or spectacular. They're trying to run the play and execute what's called. And it doesn't have to be a play that's going to make them scramble around or make a stiff arm a guy. They're trying to get the ball in other guys' hands. And that's what the offense was. We had Nick Chubb run the ball, do some play action, which is what Stefanski loves to do, pound the ball, and we just going to play action because we're going to get the defense worried about the run, and then we'll make these easy throws. Read the defense and make easy throws. That's what Stefanski wants to do, and he and Brissett did that very well, right? 11 games are up. Deshaun Watson's coming back into the fold, but this is a man coming back into the fold who, while he's been away, was not allowed to practice, wasn't there for training camp, wasn't allowed to call up Kevin Stefanski and communicate. Like he wasn't supposed to have contact with these guys. Whether they did or not, like, I mean, I'm sure they had some type of way of communicating and, but in terms of having contact with the team, like he could not. Wasn't practicing, none of that. He can go and throw on his own, practice on his own, but that's on his own. Practicing with guys who obviously aren't NFL talent and NFL receivers and all that because it's in the middle of the season. So if they were, they'd be on a team plan. So he's practicing with whoever, right? He comes in, all these expectations, man. It's like, woo, we got Watson coming. We doing all this with Jacoby Brissett. Watson coming. Whew, let's go, right? Either that or you were already against him and you were like, man, no, I don't want Watson, man. Forget Watson. But either way, Watson comes in and looks not good. Not good. Throwing balls low, timing is off, throwing passes over people's head, holding the ball too long, tripping over his own feet, just looks like a deer in the headlights. And again, let's go back to reality, man. It's for good reason. This is a guy not coming in rusty, in week 2, where everybody in the NFL is kind of rusty and still getting acclimated to the NFL season and ramping up. He's coming in past the middle point of the season. Like guys are in as fresh and into the season as they are. They didn't knock the rust off from the off season. They're used to getting hit. They're used to the timing again. You look at the stats, man. The first couple weeks are rough because people don't play in the preseason no more. So the first couple weeks, these guys are knocking off rust and everything. So you talking about a guy in Deshaun Watson who's not knocking off rust um, of just the offseason like everybody does because you haven't played in the offseason and them practices are not NFL speed. He's knocking off rust of about 2 years off. He hasn't played in years. He's coming in the middle of a season fast. Ain't no time for you to, all right, let me get a little used to this again. No, these guys moving quick. Defense done already been there, done that, seen that, knocked the rust off. They're coming. Your receivers who you throwing to, and these offensive linemen who are blocking for you, and the running backs who are you're handing the ball off to or whatever, they're also moving quick, fast, in a hurry. Already got it down. Let's go. You moving in slow motion because he's a human being, man. He's not Deshaun Superman Watson. It's reality to this. He's coming in here trying to process mentally, his mental going slow. Again, we ain't even talking about what's weighing on his brain off the field. It's going to weigh on his brain. We all got problems, stresses. Them millions of dollars don't make that go away. He's still stressing. You come onto the field moving slow because all these X's and O's and this coverage that you're used to seeing, man, it ain't how it used to be, and you're used to seeing it better like this. You wrapping your head around all this again, almost feeling like a rookie. He's been out for years, and your body ain't used to it physically. Man, some of y'all, I understand he a professional athlete. It's different when everybody around the country goes to the gym. I see guys in the gym that's there every week and they doing stuff, and you might think they some training from some NFL receiver. Man, I seen this dude in the gym for years. He keeping in shape, running, sprinting, squatting, benching, all of that. So it's bigger than just being physically in shape. Yeah, he's a professional athlete. He can go to the gym and all that all you want to. Playing at a professional NFL level, getting hit, cutting like that, having to burst off and use that speed, it's a different level. It's a different level of soreness and a different demand on your body. So I'm not trying to rant and go in for just Deshaun Watson, but I really want to have people think about the situation this man was walking into, and what we were dealing with as an organization. Again, this ain't about sympathy for Deshaun Watson. Just like I'm saying, it's reality. The reality is he's a grown man, and that's the bed he made for himself. He got to deal with this. You signed the contract. We got expectations. Let's go. But at the end of the day, yeah, you can say all that. It's a lot of cons. It's pros and cons. It's a lot of cons that this man was just walking into, where the expectations we had, because even I had them. I admit, y'all, when he was coming back, I was like, dude, I can't wait till he come back because I'm hearing all this Watson hate. People forgetting, man. People forgetting who this guy is. He about to come in and show y'all. I know that I seen this guy play at Clemson. I've seen what he does, man. I've seen him beat Alabama. I was ready. I wasn't thinking about reality. All the stuff that this guy's walking into. And it ain't just about him and what he's walking to. Again, these other players around him are ready to play. They ready to win. They ready to take off. They excited too. But man, they in mid-season form. He wasn't. He wasn't. That's why he looked rusty. Not only that, it wasn't an offense that was fit for Deshaun Watson. He walks right into a Jacoby Brissett build offense, which it's easy to build an offense around Jacoby Brissett for Kevin Stefanski because he already fits into Kevin Stefanski's ideal offense that he wants to run. Kevin Stefanski doesn't want a fancy offense with a bunch of scrambling and improvisation. He wants, we going to line up, we going to run the ball, but we're also going to pass the ball a ton, but it's just going to be basic package passes. It's not going to be anything exotic. We're not the Kansas City Chiefs. We just going what some people would call kind of dink and dump. Real methodical. until we hit you over the head with that play action. And now that's how he likes to sprinkle in his deep passes. He tried to do that a lot with Jacoby Brissett, but Jacoby Brissett doesn't have the arm Flacco does. So you saw a lot of them passes where Stefanski likes to go deep, but Jacoby Brissett couldn't do it. So we getting Watson in here into this offense. That's not what Watson does. Watson is the opposite of what Kevin Stefanski wants. He's the opposite of that. Kevin Stefanski is getting now Watson, a guy who's trying to improvise. Instead of this 3-step drop and then throw the slant route to Amari Cooper, which I'm calling this play because I see the defense keeps running this. It's going to be open, Deshaun. But Deshaun Watson's not comfortable with just doing that. That's the reality. You getting Michael Jordan. When you get Michael Jordan type guys that believe in themselves like that, that's been the guy everywhere they are, they have that confidence that, man, I can make a play. That's a good and a bad thing. It's good and a bad thing. But that's not the type of ego Kevin Stefanski wants. Kevin Stefanski don't want to battle a guy that thinks he can make a play. I don't need you to make a play. I'm calling the play. 3-step drop, throw the slant. It'll be open. But Deshaun Watson, this 3-step drop, yeah, Cooper might have been open, but man, I also know we got a receiver running a deep post route, and also I got Njoku running a deep out or whatever it might be, a fade, a go. So now this 3-step drop turning into 3-step drop, supposed to be ball out, but instead I'm about to run around a little bit. I'm gonna hold the ball. Man, the receiver who I thought was gonna get open, like it's different types of plays and things you got to deal with now with Stefanski, where now Stefanski's frustrated. He's frustrated. He's saying, Watson, man, I got the plays right here for you, Watson. But that ain't what Watson is. He's not going to do that. And when he does try to do it, the pass is off anyway, because we're dealing with Rusty Watson, who Stefanski saying this route going to be open, but Watson don't trust his eyes like that. He don't even have the experience of a Flacco, a Brissett. These guys trust their eyes. That's their whole career. Is I need to just make the play, because they don't have a physical game to just rely on. They're not trying to run around and play backyard football. That's not them. I need to be a quarterback. A traditional quarterback is I'm about to get the ball to my playmakers' hands quickly. They're not traditional quarterbacks, not considered playmakers. Flacco, not considered a playmaker. Brissett, not considered a playmaker. Deshaun Watson, he's a playmaker. See, that's why, man. That's why it does not look as good with Watson. It does not look as good with Watson. But this is the first year, right? This is the first year. So I chalked it up to, man, what the rust. Yeah, I don't like the play calling because Stefanski kept him in that Jacoby Brissett type offense all year. But he also had the rust. So this guy looking real bad. Don't like the play calls. Not comfortable with the play calls and all the other rust and all that he's dealing with. Coming the second year. Now people really got expectations because now you healthy. And now you had your little games to knock off your rust, right? Had your games to knock off your rust. You get in a full training camp, full off season, no allegation talk. You're getting the whole season. I'm hype. Sure, y'all was hype. Deshaun was hype. He talking about, man, y'all gonna see fireworks week 1. Trade for Elijah Moore, getting like we have it. Nick Chubb, we got it, y'all. Got all these pieces. Amari Cooper and Deshaun Watson building chemistry, man. We have it, right? Go get Goodwin in the offseason. Like, we got a deep threat. No longer relying on just Anthony Schwartz. Like, we cool. This going to be the takeoff. No more excuses. Except for one thing, man. It was still this battle of the play calling of the offensive system. Watson and Stefanski never from what my opinion, what I saw, they never figured it out. A good system for them to both be happy in. The play calls never looked fluid throughout the game. It looked like one scheme, a chunk of plays, and then the next chunk of plays, it's a completely different scheme. It don't work like that, man. Stefanski trying to run the ball, pound the ball, while also running Deshaun Watson. Watson trying to get more shotgun play calls, stop having me play action, and put my back to the defense. But they were mixing both of them in. There was no rhythm to be had, especially once you lose Chubb. That was their security blanket. That was their comfort right there. That was both of their comfort blanket. Deshaun Watson compromising and not getting all the play calls that he wants. He out there with some play calls where he like, man, I do not feel comfortable running this play. Stefanski, the same situation. Yeah, I'm gonna call some stuff for you, Watson, but man, like I don't feel comfortable running that. And then you get rid of Chubb too. Now more pressure on Watson. More pressure on Stefanski. What y'all gonna do? Watson gets hurt, which I think when he had that first shoulder injury, he should have been put on IR right there. He was hurt. He was hurt then. There's no way you about to sit here and tell me that man hurt his shoulder and then it had nothing to do with the shoulder surgery he now has to have. But that's a different conversation. So the man continues to play hurt. We start to see glimpses of like, okay, our offense looking good. And the reason behind that is because they're compromised now because it takes time. We were getting the time. They were getting it down. Man. Our offense was looking good because they realized, all right, Stefanski says you wanna play in these shotgun formations and all that. Cool. I'm gonna give you all that. I'm gonna give you your spread offense that you want. I'm gonna eliminate all these big tight end packages. We not gonna run as many heavy packages. I'm gonna give you some of what you want, but you gotta give me what I want. And man, get the ball out your hands. You started to see that. Yeah, we in shotgun running back next to Deshaun, but it's basically just a running play because it's just a design quick pass to Ford or whoever was out there. It's really just a run play. Those were the type of wrinkles we were starting to put in for Watson, and it was working. Our offense was clicking. Our running game was not doing great. But when you consider all those short passes, which we were using those as a type of run game, our offense was clicking. Watson was getting in rhythm early, taking his shots deep when he could. The only difference is we just didn't have a lot of the play actions and rollouts and things like that. Didn't have that. But that was their compromise. They started to compromise, man. They started to figure it out. And if they started to figure it out, man, and if he comes back healthy next year, we gonna be all right. I really feel that way. I'm not worried about Deshaun. I'm not. We're no longer in the shock phase of the trade and all that type of stuff. The allegations are kind of behind us. People ain't talking about that. Like he now can focus on football. So as long as he can get that shoulder healthy and come back with some arm strength and all that, man, we gonna be all right. Because I think he and Stefanski were finally figuring it out. They were getting it, but he gets hurt. Right? Gets hurt. Can't play anymore. Rookie quarterback, PJ Walker, all that. You can the whole conversation with Dobbs and Brissett, like y'all can feel however y'all want with that. But the quarterbacks we had on the roster not getting the job done. Not looking good at all. Can't throw the ball. Not offense just in shambles. Sign Flacco. Which I can't even say offense in shambles. DTR was learning on the fly. So yes, he was making a lot of mistakes. The guy was a rookie, 5th round rookie. He's he was being a rookie quarterback, but he was learning on the fly and he was getting better. And I believe he was turning the corner right before he got hurt. Right before he got hurt, he was. But fast forward, we've got to sign Joe Flacco. Everybody's up in arms. Oh my gosh, Flacco? Wow, man, what we gonna do with Joe Flacco, man? The guy's arms a noodle, man. The guy couldn't do it with the Jets. Why would the guy come on? Flacco? But y'all not thinking about the Jacoby Brissett effect. All Stefanski needs and wants at quarterback is somebody who's just gonna run the play. So Stefanski, hype, I'm sure. Why wouldn't he be? In terms of comfort, what's gonna make him comfortable? I'm sure he was hype. I like you gotta y'all gotta think just deeper than on Sunday or Thursday game day. Stefanski's with these guys all week. And if you the starter quarterback, you the guy playing, man, we having one-on-one meetings. We watching film all night. We going over the play calls. Hey, what do you feel comfortable with? What do I feel comfortable with? Hey, man, do you understand this scheme? Man, if the defense shows they doing this all week, preparing, right? All week. How much do you think DTR or PJ Walker or heck, even Deshaun Watson and Kevin Stefanski really have in common? Especially DTR and PJ Walker. Like DTR and PJ Walker, they're not like I'm sure they're not sitting in, especially DTR. He's a rookie. Stefanski got to explain stuff, break down play calls, really get down into the details to make sure he understands, because he knows, man, this guy hasn't seen a lot of this stuff. He's not coming to this meeting and is about to be like, oh yeah, I know that scheme. Yeah, I've seen. Man, you ain't seen none of this. This is a whole different level. Even with Deshaun Watson to an extent. Watson knows his X's and O's, but I'm just talking about on a comfort level, on like we're communicating, you know, not even X's and O's. Like again, we spending all day with each other. They spend more time with the guys in that organization than they do their own families. So just talking, BSing. Not a whole lot in common, probably. I'm just assuming. I'm not in the room. I'm just assuming. Just assumptions. Now, Stefanski and Flacco, on the other hand, man, hey, shoot. Stefanski, like, we bringing Joe Flacco in. I ain't got to sit in the meeting with DTR and talk about all these young kids, all this stuff. I don't know none of this. Man, I can't relate to this young kid. It's like my son. We bringing Flacco in. That's like, shoot, that's like a brother. That's a brother-in-law. He married with kids just like me. He in the same phase of life as me. We can relate. We can relate. We dealing with the same things in life pretty much. And that's just life. Now let's talk about football. Look at that. He want to do the same thing I want to do. I'm bringing a guy in here that's just going to run my play for me. And everybody it's come out now that everybody was calling the Browns saying, hey, man, y'all need to sign Flacco. Y'all need to go get Flacco. He's still, that arm, man, he's ready. Go sign Flacco. I'm vouching for him. Go get him. Y'all need a quarterback. Go get him. And they weren't wrong. So now you don't have to worry about the arm strength. You got a guy that's just come in, run my offense for me. Woo. And you know what I'm talking about? When I put a play in front of you in preparation for game day, I'm not sitting here spending 10 minutes to explain it to you. That 10 minutes that I usually explain to DTR and got to break down with DTR, either I got to argue back and forth with Watson. Instead of spending that time doing that, now we just bouncing ideas off each other. Man, we just perfecting at this point. We nitpicking the plays. We just really getting into the nitty gritty because we're on the same page already. Already on the same page. It's easy. It's easy. Everything Stefanski wants to do in the offense, the play action. You see how much play action he doing now, under center play action. Watson's not comfortable on doing that. He's not an under center quarterback. When you under center and you do play action, you hear a lot of people on the broadcast talking about putting their back to the defense. When you under center and you do a play action, man, you got to turn around. You're no longer facing the defense. And that might seem not really a big deal. But man, it's fast out there. These plays are quick. So them couple seconds that you turned around, man, are impactful. Impactful. Watson was not comfortable doing that. Which in my last video I told y'all he needs to start getting comfortable. This ain't all just patting Watson on the back. He needs to start getting comfortable with that. Because that is one thing, man. Stefanski, his timing, his decision making in moments is where I have an issue at. But the guy's a good play caller in terms of the design of his plays, in terms of getting guys open, in terms of running an effective play. You see, man, his offense works. It works. Now, when Watson returns, I'm not asking you to just be Flacco. Like, obviously, he can move around, be a little more mobile instead of just it being a play action and then you just sitting in the pocket and throwing. Run some boots, some things like that, some rollouts. But he got to get under center. It works. I'm not a big shotgun fan. So I'm not, especially on empty. If you're going to just run shotgun and you just got the quarterback in the backfield, well, as the defense, I don't care how much of a scrambling quarterback you are, you're not going to block and run the ball for yourself. So you could go ahead and run if you want to. Not a fan of shotgun empty, and we were running a lot of that with Watson. So I hope Watson is sitting here watching these same games and being like, man, I know I'm more talented and I'm a better quarterback than Flacco. So what is it that he's doing that I was not doing? And it's just the play calling, y'all. Y'all, it's just the play calling. Stefanski did not change the scheme and stop running all these empty sets and shotguns as much as he was with Watson and things like that because Flacco was incapable of playing out the shotgun. Yeah, obviously Flacco's not going to run a lot of those design quarterback runs and stuff that Stefanski was calling for Watson, but he can run all the rest of the stuff. But now Stefanski's going back to what's comfortable to him and what he knows is going to put the offense in the best position. And you see it working without a good running game. We don't even have a good running game. Now, against the Jets, played well. Had a good running game. But since Flacco's been here, and really all season since Chubb has been down, our running game hasn't been anything. But that play action is deadly still. Because go ahead and don't compensate or don't react to this fake handoff. And just assume we gonna throw. And just don't worry about the run. Because that'll be the run that'll make it look like we had a good run game all game. Because that'll be the 60-yard run, the 50-yard run. You gotta account for the run, even if it's not really working and you're just getting 2 yards, 1 yard, 3 yards. You gotta keep running it. The offense works. It's all about comfort, though, y'all. Stefanski, Flacco, this offense, all of them are comfortable. The offensive line, like, there's a lot of baggage that comes with Watson in terms of, I'm not talking about the offense, in terms of just the style of play. Offensive linemen now have to block longer and differently when there's a Watson at quarterback as opposed to Flacco. When I drop back to block and I'm Joe Batonio or Wyatt Teller, I'm not worried about Joe Flacco scrambling around on my left side and juking around the side and me having to block this guy at a different angle because I know unless it's designed for Flacco to go that way, Flacco's just going to sit in the pocket otherwise. So I just need to pass block, and typically he's going to get rid of the ball. Again, unless it's a long developing play where I know he's going to hold it longer because we're going for a deep pass. So it's more comfortable because I have an expectation. I know I pretty much knew where Flacco's gonna be, where Jacoby Brissett is gonna be. But when you throw in a Deshaun Watson, now I've gotta be aware of kind of where he is in the pocket, man. He might scramble right, he might scramble left. This might be a play call that's supposed to be quick and out his hands, but now he didn't decide it. He want to go for a big play. Now 3 seconds of blocking then turned into 10. It's a whole different level. And that's all cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Because a lot of times that's how you get the big plays. Improvisation, which Deshaun Watson brings to the table. Flacco's not improving out there. Jacoby Brissett type guys, no improv. That's why you see those guys thrive with Stefanski. That's why you see it. That's what Stefanski wants. Kirk Cousins. Like y'all look at all the quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins. Same type of guy. He's not out there trying to be Patrick Mahomes. That guy out there, people been doubting him and calling him mediocre and all. The guy got a chip on his shoulder. He just trying to go out there and produce, win. Not trying to be anything he isn't. Deshaun Watson, ego. He's trying to be something. I'm Deshaun Watson, man. I'm not about to just sit back and dink and dump and do. He's trying to make big plays. It's a difference, but it's just reality. I'm not saying it's right, wrong, but this is the reality that you're dealing with. Kevin Stefanski don't want to have to battle and compromise and go back and forth on why this play call is good for you, man. Come on, man. He do Ivy League, man. You think Kevin Stefanski trying to improv? Kevin Stefanski trying to ABC 1, 2, 3, everything in order, steps, organization. Like come on, he's not an improv guy, and that's why you see that clashing when it's him and Watson early on, which you might as well get used to it again next year because we're gonna see that early on. Because once again, instead of playing through a whole season, where now next year we can just be worried about Watson being like everybody else and knocking the rust off the first couple weeks. Now he's gonna be coming back from an injury on top of trying to knock that rust off. Luckily, we had those couple games where he and Stefanski were starting to get on the same page, so they at least have something to build off of. But man, it's I believe it the first couple weeks, man, because it's gonna be Watson next year. The Flacco talk has to stop. Y'all gotta stop with this. If Flacco takes us to the Super Bowl, I don't care if Flacco throw for 400 yards every game for the rest of the season, take us to the Super Bowl. We blow every team out by more than 20 every game. Flacco just don't throw another interception. He can play great for the rest of the season. He's not the quarterback, y'all. It's not gonna happen. It's just not even a dynamic that's realistic. I already told y'all what Browns are not about to have a $250 million quarterback backing up Joe Flacco, right? What you gonna do with Deshaun Watson? Just say you the backup? That's one reason why it's not realistic. Second reason is if he does do all that for us, takes us to the Super Bowl, even if he doesn't, he just continues to play at the level he's playing at now. You don't think some other team is gonna be like, hey man, we need a quarterback. We just drafted a guy, first round pick, but he's a guy that needs to learn for a year. He's our quarterback of the future, but man, you're a perfect guy. We believe we can kind of win. We can compete. So you perfect, man. Let's get the rest of the team some experience. Bring Flacco in. Have our young quarterback develop. Ain't like we trying to lose no more. We got our quarterback, man. Let's win. You don't think a team is going to be trying to pay a Flacco? Or maybe a team that is actually wanting a quarterback right now. They like, man, we don't have a top draft pick. This is the best option of quarterback we gonna have, man. We might have him for a couple years. The guy, I believe, is 38. He can still play some years. That arm talent he has, he can still play. So we're not going to just outbid him because there's going to be teams that are going to be willing to pay him a nice chunk of change. So financially, it's not going to work. And also, if you're Joe Flacco, why would you want to come back into this situation? If you're Joe Flacco, why would you want to be in a situation like this? If you perform well for the rest of the season, you believe in yourself, why would you not want to go somewhere and actually have an opportunity? Even if they sit there and tell you, hey, Joe, you the starting quarterback next year. I know we got Deshaun Watson, man, but you showed us so much. You the starter quarterback next year. Why the heck would you want to have to be in the same locker room with a Deshaun Watson and all of the media that's going to bring and the questioning? And come on, y'all. If you're the Browns organization, why would you want that circus in your locker room? What, like, come on, y'all. And you're not going to cut them. It's not even worth the conversation of me saying cut them. Then you just paying air all that money you guaranteed for, like, what? Not going to happen. Can't sign. Come on, y'all. The Flacco conversation, not real. Not real. And it's not because he's like, it has nothing to do with the level of play he gives us the rest of the season. That is irrelevant. It's just not real. Not realistic. Unless the guy's going to come out, not win another game for the rest of the season, throw a whole bunch of interceptions, and then we just like, I guess we can hope he goes back to form and pay him mid. Like that, y'all got me saying crazy stuff, man. That don't even make sense. What am I doing? It's not going to happen for next year. But for this year, we need to keep riding this wave. I just wanted to make a video for y'all, man, and really just explain, like, why what we've seen from Watson, to me, there's an obvious explanation, man. It's just comfort, and the guy hasn't been healthy since he's been here. It's one of the two. He's either not comfortable or just not healthy. And that's big. That's big. Y'all can say all y'all want to, like, oh, who cares if he's running plays he ain't comfortable with? Man, come on. Come on, man. Come on. While also knocking off the rust. Honestly, I'm not worried about Deshaun Watson. I'm not. And it's because of the mentality that he has. I'm not. That is the main factor why I'm not calm in all this. Like, I know there's a chance that he can come back and that shoulder not be right. I get that. It's his throwing. I get it. But I believe that dude he's got that mentality where he's a dog, man. He's not about to he's happy for the team right now. He like, cool, like, I'm so happy y'all go. But that dude is a dog. He didn't come to Cleveland because we were just, you think if we were a trash team, if we were just did not have a chance of winning, he did not have a chance to win, but we were paying him all the guaranteed money that he would have come here. Man, that dude wants to win. And he's sitting back on the couch or on the sideline, wherever he watching from. He's tuned in just like we are. He tuned in just like we are. And if he doesn't have it on mute, he hear the broadcasters talking about Flacco this, comeback player of the year that, how good the offense looks. Woo! They're not even talking about Deshaun Watson. Got to remember, man, y'all got to think deep, man. These guys competitors. So if you Deshaun Watson and you a competitor, stop thinking he the Deshaun Watson is just shit sitting fat, sitting pretty, don't care, and y'all think he just collecting a check. Bro, this man's a competitor. Y'all better put on that Clemson Alabama game. That was back when Alabama was unstoppable. They were unstoppable, dominating everybody, except for a guy named Deshaun Watson who just came in, carved them up. That's a mentality. You can't teach that kind of stuff. That dude is a dog, man. He's sitting back watching this and like, okay, I'm happy for y'all. I'm happy for the team. Let's go, team. But I hear all that. I know I was struggling a little bit when I was in there. Now this guy Flacco coming in and killing it and looking good and about to lead us to the play and all that. But I'm sitting back, I'm watching. I hope he's learning, taking notes. Okay, that's what you're doing to work. Okay, that's what Stefanski was talking about when he said just trust your eyes and just throw. Okay, so now when you sprinkle in a little bit of Deshaun Watson humbling himself, sitting back all this year, seeing another guy lead his team, do what he dreamed of doing. This is what he came here to do. What Flacco doing? You humble yourself a little bit, sit back. This is all assumptions. I ain't Deshaun Watson. I'm a competitive dude. Like I want to be the best. That's how I am. And I'm sure making it to the league, he's probably more competitive than I am. So how can you sit back as a competitor and not humble yourself right now and say, man, I'm better than that dude, but why does he look better than me? Let me take some stuff from his game, from this offense and what's working and clicking, and let me implement it into my own. You imagine a lot of these play callings, the same design, same formation that Flacco running and just put Deshaun Watson in it? Come on, man. Come on. Come on, man. It's not hard. Flacco making a lot of the stuff. It is hard for me, you, and stuff like that. Yeah, I can't go out there and throw these passes and stuff. But man, what Flacco's out there doing, bro, Deshaun can do. And Deshaun does not, I want to say this now, Deshaun does not have the arm talent that Flacco has. Not like Flacco. Flacco can just fling it, and it's got zip on the ball. The ball is not floating in the air. It's not a lame duck. He can just fling it without his feet being set. I'm talking about beautiful dimes over the shoulder. Dimes. Flacco has an elite arm. Now, Watson can make any throw, but that's different than having an elite arm. Watson don't have just that fling it and it just got that zip on there, but Watson can make any throw. So it's gonna be some things that Watson won't be able to do that Flacco has done. Throwing them passes in there, three guys just bing. That's elite level what Flacco's doing. But when you bring in everything else that Watson's got, man, come on, y'all. Come on. You gotta look at the big picture. Look at it. Ain't nothing wrong with Watson, man. It's just, these guys aren't. He's not comfortable. He wasn't comfortable. The rest of the offense is looking at when Flacco came in here, man. After dealing with, no offense to DTR and PJ Walker, and even Deshaun Watson to an extent, man. All of that was adjustment periods. All of that, the Njoku's, Cooper, even the offensive line, our running backs, DPJ when he was here, Tillman, like all these guys are having to adjust to a quarterback getting acclimated. That changes the whole offense. It's not just we got a new quarterback in there. It's not just we got PJ Walker or DTR in there and everything's just gonna be smooth. Like other guys now have to change the way they're playing, change the way they're approaching the game because the timing is different. Like I said, even with Watson, the offense was not running smoothly because Stefanski wasn't comfortable, and neither was Watson. And it runs a hiccupy type offense, something that just does not look fluid, doesn't look natural. Flacco out there, man, it looks natural. It just looks natural. And you want to know how you know it looks natural? Even these games where our running game has not done well. How many times have you looked at our offense and just said, man, what are we doing? Like, oh man, we can't move the ball. We looking like, oh man, why can't we run the ball? You never really worried about us running the ball because the offense just kept moving. It was almost like it was designed into the offense for us to not run the ball well. We just kept clicking along. Because that's what happens when you're running a natural flowing offense. You're not trying to compromise. You're not trying to, let me kind of call this to make him happy. Nah, man, we just about to run these plays. Because you happy running them. I'm happy calling them. Let's go. Receivers eating, tight ends eating. Because it's no longer just, I'm looking for a specific person. I'm running the design play. And if the design play is saying that Amari Cooper is running this route, I'm trusting that the defense that I'm seeing ain't going to be able to stop that. Bing. Oh, and Joku got the advantage this time because of the defense they in. And this, bing. I'm not trying to wait and see if something better happens in the play. I'm going to the easiest first option. Bing. Deshaun Watson's a playmaker, man. Again, it's got its pros and cons. It's got its pros and cons. So I know a lot of people gonna sit there and say, "Hey, man, I'll take Flacco and just a bing all day," and that's cool. Y'all see it working? It's working. But sometimes, man, you're gonna have to be a playmaker. And Flacco's made some plays. He has. That play even against the Jets where the guy got slapped in the face, he scrambled out, threw the touchdown to Ford. That was a play that he made. Like that wasn't a design play for him to have to scramble out like that. He improvised and he made that play. But that's something that Deshaun Watson, a big play like that, Deshaun Watson can bring that every play. Again, that could be a good or bad thing. That long, you taking that time is also time for you to get sacked. And it showed. Deshaun Watson played in 6 games this year, sacked 17 times. Flacco's played in 5 games this year, has been sacked 8 times. And that's with a deteriorated offensive line. That's with an offensive line that are not our starting left and right tackle, rotating guys at guard that Flacco's been playing with. For a lot of that, Deshaun Watson was dealing with some injuries, but he had our starter at offensive line. But the guy, he's looking for the big play. They kind of have similar stats, man. You even look at what Flacco's doing. Flacco's played again in 5 games. 204 attempts, 123 completions. 204 attempts, 123 completions in 5 games. Watson played in 6 games. 171 attempts, 105 completions. They both Flacco's got a 60% completion percentage. Watson's got 61%. It's just the level of comfort. Flacco is averaging 7.9 yards a pass, whereas Watson was 6.5. These are the same type of play calls, man. Same type of play calls in terms of what we in terms of I've seen both of them, Flacco and Watson, have the same type of play calls. We tried it when Deshaun Watson came in for Brissett. Same kind of play calls. But none of them are what Watson is good at. Like that, I'm not good at. Comfortable. So it's always like it just doesn't look right when he runs it. That's what I'm saying, man. That dude better figure it out. It works. If Jacoby Brissett and Joe Flacco can thrive in it, I can put a more talented, even more talented quarterback in there, and they should be able to thrive with it. I'm hoping Stefanski stops with the design runs and all that, because I'm going past this year and talking about Deshaun Watson. This year, man, it's in front of us. I'm not trying to talk like this season's over. Man, we can go to the Super Bowl. Everything is right in front of us. I don't see nobody that I'm afraid of. Nobody. But we can be beat. But I'm looking towards next year, man. Next year, man, you better learn something, Watson. You better sit back. You better stop running all these design runs with Watson Stefanski. Have him run a very similar offense than what Flacco was doing, except I hope he throws in some boots. So, yes, still run these play action, but instead of just fake handing it off to the running back and then standing in the pocket, when it's Watson, have him fake the handoff and roll out to a side. Get him on the move. That's your designed run. So eliminate the designed run and give it an optional run. So now on that boot that is a pass play, if a guy's open, Watson can throw it to him, big play, whatever it is, short yard, whatever it is. Or if it's open field, guess what? I got a guy who can run. Stop the designed runs, man. That's you're gonna get guys beat up like that. You look at that Baltimore offense, you see Lamar Jackson still a threat to run every play. Don't matter if it's a designed run. If it's a designed pass, it's still a run threat when you got a quarterback like that. And we've got one. He is not Lamar Jackson scramble type, but man, Watson can run on his own. Stop the designed runs, or he He ain't gonna be healthy. He's not about to take these hits like that in the AFC North. Not happening. You're not playing in Houston, man. It's cold, and these guys coming to hit. I'm gonna go off my rant for next year, man. Back to this year, wrapping it up, man. I appreciate y'all. For joining me, man. This has been a long one. It's been a long one just because I really wanted to get in depth with it. I didn't want to just come on here and just kind of say one thing and then just gloss over something that is a main factor and why I feel the way I feel. Like you got to look at it big picture. Watson has not been in a position to really succeed. Let me not just Watson, him and Stefanski together. When they've been together, when Watson has been healthy, it's never been in a situation where I can truly critique what I'm saying. Because to me, man, there was a segment against, I think it was week 3 or 4. I think we were playing the Titans, but Aditi Kinkle-Bala, who's a sideline reporter for the Browns, she covers the Browns. She said that Watson and Stefanski, go back and forth all the time, and Watson finally feels like he convinced Stefanski to run a certain type of plays that's more comfortable for Watson. Like, just think about that. We are sitting there in like week 4, week 3, whatever it was, and you just convinced your coach to run some plays that you more comfortable with. That sounds like training camp stuff, off season stuff. Yeah, like they got to figure it out, man, and they were starting to figure it out. That's why I'm not worried. Only thing I'm thinking about is that shoulder gonna come back surgically repaired and do what it needs to do. That's all I'm worried about. Because the dog in Watson, I think he's coming back with a chip on his shoulder. No pun intended. I hope it ain't a chip in there. But I hope he coming back with a chip on his shoulder, man. He's sitting there looking at all this. Looking at the big numbers Amari Cooper putting up. And Joku. That type of stuff, man, it can have a fire burn in you. If he wasn't hungry before, which again, man, dude is a competitor. This dude came here. You think he like all this doubt? You think he likes not performing up to his standard up until this point? You think that makes him feel good? This dude wants to win, man. That was the whole reason he was leaving Houston in the first place. He was tired of just doing everything. He wanted to win. Stop bashing this man. He's a human being just like anybody else. That dude's about to come back hungry. Hungrier. Hopefully a little more humble in terms of accepting some of these play callings, man. And y'all know I'm not a huge Stefanski fan, but it works. We see it works. We're seeing it. We're watching it. He knows how to call and design plays, man. His timing and decision making always ain't the greatest, but the guy's a good play designer and creator. I can't deny that. Let's go, Flacco. Everything we want is ahead of us, y'all. I don't see nobody stopping us. Let's go. We off this weekend. We ain't got no victory Monday. This a victory weekend, man. A New Year weekend. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. God bless y'all. I hope y'all have the greatest New Year. Whatever y'all want, whatever your heart's desire, man. Good luck to y'all. Grind for it. Get it. Appreciate y'all again for taking the time to sit here and listen to this video. I hope I wasn't too long-winded. I know this went on for a while, but I really wanted to get all that off my chest, man, because it's a big picture, man. A lot of people just coming in thinking and like judging, man. Come on, man. Look at the big picture and what's going on, man. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all like. Make sure y'all subscribe. I will be doing a video here in the coming days on the Bengals. Look out for that. Not worried about the Bengals. Not gonna cut it. Not gonna cut it. But hoping we rest some guys. So we'll see how the game goes. But I'll drop a video for y'all soon. I love y'all. Take care of yourselves. Happy New Year. Peace.